To start the recording.
Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Hi, everybody. It's Thursday, November 4th, and we're into the last month of the year, and our special guest tonight is Sadiqa Truth. Hi, Truth.
Greetings.
How are you tonight?
I'm wonderful, magnificent, marvelous, and splendid, evolving and progressing every day in every way, and yourself.
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. I love the way you're so positive and wonderful and happy and not depressing. I love that. What are you going to thrill us with tonight? What's new? Do you have any success stories for us or what?
No, not yet. I have one more stage of my process that I'm working on.
You want to tell us about that, or is that a secret, or what?
Oh, no, that's something I do for a living. I don't disclose that in public.
Okay. Well, is it pertaining to, like, foreclosures or just freedom or general or fighting in court or what?
Well, anything pertaining to court I can discuss with you except foreclosures, which that's what I do for a living, and I'm not going to disclose my trade secrets.
Well, of course not. I wouldn't want you to do that. But have you discovered anything you can share with us?
I don't
How
know.
How about IRS issues or anything else?
Well, I think that was covered thoroughly on the last call, your IRS issues. And if anyone wants additional information, they should look up Carl Miller. And that's Carl with a C on YouTube. And the information is there for anybody.
Okay. Did you want to get into any particular line of rap, or did you want to take questions right off the get-go, or what? I've already got one up there.
Okay, I could take questions right off the get-go because I don't know what the people are interested in. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get some ideas, and then we'll throw those at you. How's that?
But before I take my first question, I'd like to give a shout-out, if I may, to the Higginbotham sisters, Yvonne, Belma, and Terry. Hey! Okay, I'll take my first question.
Who that was? To the Higginbottom? The what?
The Higginbotham sisters.
Okay, good, because I think I stepped on you when you said it the first time.
Yeah, that's Yvonne, Belma, and Terry.
Okay. All right, first question's coming out of North and West Colorado. Go ahead.
Hi, this is Nancy. How do you spell Miller? M-I-L-L-E-R?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. You had mentioned last time about small claims courts that you could take IRS issues. Now, it's my understanding that you have to go to one in the county in which the person is, but with IRS, can you go, since they're everywhere, go anywhere?
Yes, it's any small claims court. That's the exception to their ceiling amount. It's a tax issue.
Okay, so I don't have to go to, like, Utah or wherever?
No.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that it, Nancy?
Yeah, I just didn't know, where to take it, and
Okay.
she did mention last time also about getting. Well, I'll ask the question, and maybe it was answered at the first part, which I missed, and I haven't had time to listen. I have an affidavit, which is, truth and commerce, but what do you do with it? Do you take it to a magistrate of any court and get them to make a judgment on it?
No, that's not what an affidavit is. The affidavit is evidence.
Right, I have an unrebutted affidavit. It's been 30 days.
Okay, but that doesn't mean anything if you haven't done an administrative process on it.
So you have to go to court with it?
No, you have to.
Right.
You have to do the administrative process. You have to give them ample time to respond in the private. So you're saying you just have an affidavit and it's unrebutted, and it hasn't been. Did
And
you
it's
send
been
out a letter?
over 30 days.
Yeah. Did you send out a letter of non-response to the affidavit?
No, I will do that on Monday.
Okay, that's the problem. You have to send out a non-response, a notice of fault, and an opportunity to cure, and then a notice of default with another opportunity to cure before you can close out that matter.
Okay, so that's the whole notarial process.
No, that's an administrative process. To do a due presentment under notary seal means it's the same thing, only a notary would do it for you.
But this one I don't have to have a notary?
No.
Oh, okay. That's easier because none of the notaries around here will do anything anymore. But you do the same paperwork.
If you can't get a notary, you can get 6 witnesses. It's the same thing.
No, but I mean, you do the same number of letters, the same kind of letters that a notarial protest does.
That's correct. But if you can't get a document notarized, 6 witnesses is the same
Well, I
thing.
can get a bank notary, but do I want that?
Yeah, why not? They're
I
just
don't know.
notarizing your signature.
Okay.
They're not supposed to be reading your paperwork.
Yeah, okay, I can do that. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay. And let's see here. I've got Ohio, but I'm having a hard time. Go ahead, Ohio. Do you have a question for Truth?
No, thanks.
No? Okay. Okay. Anyone have a question? Press *8. Otherwise, press *6, and that'll mute you out. So, what were you telling me about what's going on? Are you having any events or meetings coming up?
Not to my knowledge. Nobody wants to come and see me.
Oh, okay. I thought they did.
You know, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I don't know. You have a lot of good information. I trust what you have to say. I always ask you for your opinions, and you know your stuff. I wouldn't say you're a cuckoo, but that's me.
Yeah, you know you're biased. They can't believe you. You're biased.
Yeah. So, anybody have a question or I don't know, talk, Truth, tell us about something.
What is it? It is so much information out here. Like I said, you need to learn how to first handle yourself in traffic court, and then you can pretty much handle anything else that comes up. And I think traffic court would be the basic or your foundation. It's where you get your feet wet. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing that California has that's very unique. It's a trial by declaration. And I found that very interesting.
Tell me about that.
The trial by declaration is an affidavit, and you declare and under the penalty of perjury. And, you contest the event if it's, speeding, parking, whatever. And usually you win. They always, I found that to be very interesting.
And that declaration is what? Like just saying under penalty of perjury or what?
And it's online. Yeah, that's correct. It's a trial by declaration.
Uh-oh. Huh. I have to read about that. That's online?
Yeah. You can't do that where I'm from. They don't play that. They want to see you up close and personal.
I didn't know that. And I'm in California.
Well, if you want to beat a traffic ticket, do a trial by declaration.
Thank you very much. I will check that out.
You're so welcome.
What else?
the Power of Attorney Act I referenced last
No,
time I was on the call?
I haven't. I've just been so busy. Why don't you tell me about it?
Oh, I'm not. Nope. I like for people to. If I give you the information, I really want you to study it. Don't take what I took from it, because
Okay.
what I understand things to be may not be what you understand things to be. And how I use a document, I'm sure you haven't thought of it, but I put the addendums to my stuff. Mine is just more than a power of attorney. So if you don't see that you can do that, then I don't want to give you some information that might hinder you or trip you up or get you in trouble.
All right, Texas, you have a question for Truth? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's sort of a question. Hey, Angela. Hey, Truth. We talked a few months ago about the economy, and I was wondering, what's your opinion on the economy right now? I mean, I guess we all know that it's not good, but specifically towards gold and silver.
Oh, gold and silver is always good, and that's what I'm investing in. You also may want to look at the dinar trade, the Iraqi dinar.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to do some investigation on that as well.
You think it's coming up or something?
Exponentially, my brother. As soon as we get our butts out of there, what is the United States known for? Whenever we go to war with somebody and we leave their country, what do? We send billions and billions of dollars in for restoration.
Right.
Yeah, so the Iraqi dinar is going to shoot up exponentially.
Okay.
I read that in an email somewhere too. That watch how they going to go up. Right now, it's low or something. It's a gold. It's valued in gold or oil or something.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's backed by gold or oil. It's backed by a commodity, unlike a Federal Reserve note, which is backed by our good faith and credit.
So that's probably one of the few countries.
See, when you study, I like that.
Oh, so that's probably one of the countries that is backed by gold.
Yeah. You got to keep in mind your enemy's currency is backed by gold. That's China and Russia.
Oh.
Today, the Fed is pumping in another $600 billion, which is going to give us hyperinflation. So, a gallon of gas is probably going to cost $15-20 here pretty soon. I don't know. But we all know where the Rockefellers live, and we all know where the Rothschilds live, and that's where we're going.
You want to counteract hyperinflation. If you have a phone service with AT&T, MCI, Southwest Bell, like that, you could cancel your telephone service and get a Magic Jack. Your phone bill is $20 a year, and it's paid in advance. As long as you're going to use the Internet, you might as well get a Magic Jack.
Yeah, or Skype. You can pay $30 a year and get Skype, too.
So,
well, the question is...
Go ahead.
The question is, can you get on the Internet with Magic Jack?
Yes. It only runs off the Internet. You have to have the Internet for it to work. It's a VoIP. And it's $20 a year. That beats paying AT&T $40 a month.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, don't use department stores. Go to little mama papa restaurants and shops for your stuff. To hell with the corporate bigwigs, they're the ones that are ruining the country, so don't use them. And try to barter whenever you can. Don't use Federal Reserve notes, if at all possible. But anyway, what else?
I guess with the admin process, you haven't had any trouble as far as the court not recognizing it
No, they cannot not recognize it if the affidavit is unrebutted. Then your who's ever opposing you is in dishonor.
Okay, so at the end of the process, you have to have an affidavit of what happened, and the court cannot dishonor that.
No,
Okay.
the court, you're giving the court something to have jurisdiction over. I'm telling the judge, I tried to settle this in the private without bothering you. These people chose to dishonor it. Now you have something to have jurisdiction over, their dishonor and my claim.
Okay. That sounds good. Great.
So does anyone know what the price of silver was today?
26.30 something. It went up like a whole $1 or whatever since yesterday. Maybe $2 since this weekend.
Your investment in silver.
Right.
It's going to outperform gold because silver is in all your electronic appliances.
Right. So I got a little bit more money left, so I'm thinking about should I just go ahead and buy some more? Is there going to be a dip? But it doesn't seem like it's going to be one.
Well, it might hit 50 by the December 31st. It might double.
Right.
But regardless, you can't go wrong with silver. You're going to make money. You might not make as much of it as when I first started talking about this at the first of the year when you could get it for $11 a coin. But the people that bought it at the beginning of the year, they've already made a $15 profit.
Yeah. I think I got in around $18, $19, so that's not bad.
No, it's not.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right, anything else?
that's it for right now. Thank you.
That's it. Anybody else have a question? Press *8. Or Truth, if you have anything you'd like to share with us, go right ahead.
Well, there's a gentleman that I'd like to invite those of you that live in California to go visit on a Saturday. His name is Max Mason, and he's in San Diego, and he does a presentation every Saturday from 2 to 4. And you really want to know about investing in corporations and C Corps and LLCs and NPOs, which are nonprofit organizations, you should attend this presentation any Saturday that you have available, and there's no charge. And it's 4 hours. It's from 2 to 4. And usually we stay to 6 after we, ask our questions.
Okay. Mac Mason, never heard of him. How long has he been doing this?
Oh, I guess about a year. I found out about him in February, and I constantly refer people. The address is 4715 30th Street. I don't have the phone number with me right now, but I can get it back to you so you can post it. But the information, it's just invaluable. He's really on top of his stuff. Every time I come to California, I try to send 10 or 12 people down to get that information.
And it's free?
Yes.
Okay. I'm making
Even
notes
if it
here.
wasn't
So.
free, it's worth, checking out.
Okay. That's on investing and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. He teaches you about Monex, which is your gold and silver commodities broker here in California. And, you could set up an account and buy your gold and silver directly from them and have it shipped to you.
Okay. Cool. What do you know about children's services and getting children back from children's services back to the parents? Do you do anything with that?
No, I haven't, but in violation of the law, if you have a minor, you should have a UCC-1 on that minor, and that takes jurisdiction from the state.
Okay. I'm reading some of the chats here. Are you on the computer too?
No. If I move to go to the computer, the phone is going to disconnect. I don't get good service. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't get good service in the.
Yeah, somebody's asking. Blue Feather is asking for the phone number in San Diego. Angela, we should email about some of this stuff. We have spoken before, I think. Ticonderoga. This is a very dangerous time for people who are not trained or experienced to invest. Oh, yes. Well, yeah, I don't recommend investing if you don't know what you're doing. Of course not. That's why I would guess you would go to this gentleman and get some pointers, right?
Right. We're not talking about investing in stocks. We're talking about investing in silver and gold. That's always a safe investment because if the United States Federal Reserve note were to crash, that's what they're going to go. That's the standard they're going to go back to is gold and silver.
Right. You can go to any country and it's money anywhere.
Right. And
Federal Reserve.
Right. And if you know anything about the Constitution, the lawful money of the United States is gold and silver coin. So if you're buying silver coins, that is the lawful money of the United States, not Federal Reserve notes.
Yeah, I think we all pretty much know that by now.
I don't think so because so many people say, yeah, it's just gold and silver. No, it's not. It's a coin. It's a specific unit of measure.
Right.
Because you can buy gold and silver in bars, bricks, you know. Mm-hmm. It's a big difference.
Well, I think whether you bought it in a brick or whatever, it's still going to be valuable.
Oh, I don't know if you heard, they're digging out the middle of the brick and filling it with tungsten steel. So if you get a brick, it might not be a real brick.
Yeah, I heard they did that to China, right? They sent them gold-plated tungsten or something.
Right. So if you got, they're not going to waste their time doing that to a coin. I'd rather stick with the coins. That's my preference.
Right. Yeah. It's easier to lug around too than bars of
you don't have
gold
to
or
lug
silver.
Around. You could take them to get a safekeeping receipt. Monex will keep them for you.
Uh-huh.
But I have a problem. I don't need nobody to keep my money for me.
Yeah, no, you want to hold it, the physical deal. You don't want to let, and that's how the banking got started. It went corrupt to begin with. Exactly. They were holding everyone's gold and silver and lending out more than they were, holding.
Exactly.
Now they just print out the money in there and holding any gold or silver. So it's completely.
My gold and silver, I think I want to have possession of it. Because if the guy decides to embezzle, what can you do? You know?
Yeah. Okay. So, where's the best place to get gold and silver nowadays?
Monex, Monex, Monex. Is
that the best price or
no,
most trusted? Or because there's also that A mark and.
You can go to a mom and pop store and probably get it cheaper. A coin shop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Monex is when you deal with a quantity. Like if you have $5,000-$6,000, something like that.
Mhm. You got to pay a premium though. It's so I guess yeah, mom and pop shops are negotiable usually, and you can. I like that Franklin Sanders guy. He seems like
And
a decent guy. Then there's another guy, Lynn. I've got his advertisement on my website. I don't know his last name. I forgot. But his name is Lynn, and he sells gold and silver at a discount too.
you could always
He's
go to
recommended by Dave Mack.
you can always go to these swap meets, and they have gold and silver for sale.
I know, even eBay. I bought a lot of Morgans, some all pre-1900 Morgans back on eBay a long time ago, but they're all gone now. Cashed them in, so had to use them.
That's it's just a safe investment.
Yeah.
If you bought the silver and just left it in the middle of your floor, it's going to make money because, like I said, you got silver in ink pens, cell phones, radios, computers, calculators. They use
Film,
silver.
cameras, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't help but to make money, you know.
Yeah, it maintains its value, right?
Yes, it does. And then gold is so much more expensive. You know, nobody has $1,000 to invest in one coin when you can take, you know, you can get maybe 20 pieces of silver for the same price.
Right.
I'd rather have the 20 pieces of silver.
Yeah, me too.
And if you can't afford to invest in silver, buy postal money orders. They are backed by gold as well. If the bank collapses, the post office will become the bank.
Oh,
that's for sure.
Okay. That's right. I've heard that before. Maybe you said that last time also. That's a great idea.
Right. That way you can get a $5 postal money order, $10 postal money order, you know, whatever you can afford.
Mhm. Right.
Without, you know, putting yourself, you know, under stress and stuff. Because I'm about to buy some of those as well. Because if I decide I want to travel, I can always get international postal money orders. They're good in whatever country I'm going to.
Right. Even I think American Express travelers checks. If you can get those, I guess that's like money too. I don't know, or that you can use those anywhere in the world.
Well,
But
I'd rather
anyway.
stick with the post office.
Yeah, in the gold and silver.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody else have a question for Truth? Like *8 or type it into the chat and I'll read it to her. Electric coils, cool. Okay. North and West Colorado. Go ahead.
That's Nancy. Okay. Hi, it's Nancy again. Could you just run through, because I think the notarial protest I have is missing one of your steps. So you start with the affidavit,
It's
and
not
then you
my
send.
step.
Huh?
It's not my step.
Well,
the whole thing is like a debt validation.
Yeah.
You're missing the first step, period. You asked about an affidavit. That's what I commented on. But where is your challenge to whatever their presentment was to you?
Well, I asked for a validation of debt, actually, within the affidavit. Or I demanded that and did an affidavit.
Okay, but that's not how that's supposed to be done. You're supposed to do a debt validation and do an affidavit in support.
Well,
and then once they become in default, then you invoice them for the fraud. And I believe that, I don't know if, Angela, have you had a chance to put the commercial process on your blog yet?
No, I'm not. But what I'm doing with my foreclosure in Vegas?
No, the commercial process that teaches you how to do the administrative process.
No, I don't think it's up there.
Okay, well, you know.
You know what the problem is? I figured that stuff is so old, and I figure everybody's already got a copy, that I don't put it up there. But I'm wrong in that thinking, because there's so many new people that aren't familiar with it. I guess I should put it up there, huh?
Yeah, you should.
Especially if you can do it privately and then have it notarized rather than have a notary do it.
Right, because it's an audio as well as the paperwork.
Where? Whose audio?
Dan Mancuso, the commercial process in the zip folder I sent you.
Oh, I haven't had a chance to even look at that, but I'm taking notes.
Right, but that is I think if you don't understand the commercial process, he takes you through it step by step. And he takes you down to the point where you have a lien, and you could take your lien to the bank and get it monetized.
Oh, boy, I'd love to have that.
Well, that's the process you need to listen to and learn it well and follow each step.
Okay, so is he available somewhere else besides Angela?
I have him, but, you have to have Skype in order to get
I have Skype.
Most of my zip folders because it's, too large to email.
Well, Nancy, I'll get it up there, and then I'll let you know. Are you on my email list?
I am not, and the reason it says that, I was going to do that, and then it said this isn't your server, and something popped up from an old email server that I had, and I haven't figured out how to respond and get on your email. I mean, you have it because you've sent me emails, but I'm not on your email list for the website.
It's either you can do it from TalkShoe. There's a TalkShoe page on TalkShoe you can press the button that says follow this, and it'll automatically put you on the list.
Oh, okay.
Or you can go to Yahoo and go to the status is freedom. But there's a link right under the ugly judge's picture on the website.
Okay.
You can just join from there.
Because the reason I'm here as a guest is a TalkShoe doesn't let me join it either.
Really?
Uh-uh.
How weird.
I know. And I have a friend that said the same thing. She says, how do you get on TalkShoe? And I said, well, you do £1 because she couldn't sign up. And she's in a totally different part of the country.
Huh. I don't know. You might, they have help pages and a section where you can ask questions on TalkShoe. Maybe they can tell you what the problem is. If you just click on help at the top of the page.
Okay.
Well, I know I had to call in about 6 times before it would even let me through. And there is a problem, and it's not necessarily with this phone.
No, it could be TalkShoe.
Right.
They get overloaded or whatever. I don't know.
All right. So, but the best, and anyone that wants to know anything about foreclosures should get the Dan Benham DVDs and send a $50 donation, because everything you need to know on how to handle yourself in court and what you need to be taken to court for a foreclosure is on those DVDs. And Angela will give you the address where you can send the donations to, and we can either mail you out the DVDs or Skype them to you.
Yeah, I've got to do that. I'm writing notes.
Right, and they're worth way more than $50, but that's where I cut my teeth, and that's where I began to get the knowledge on mortgages.
Okay.
And it's Dan Benham, Benham, Dan Benham. He's very, very good.
Have you listened to any of Jon Stewart's stuff?
Oh, yes, I have. Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's good too. I like his process. His process is a lot like Harold's, except John comes on stronger than Harold. John's is a bit angrier than Harold. Oh my! It's all that scratchiness.
Well, I don't know. You have to read some of my communications. I don't be playing with them. You know.
Hold on a second. Say that again, Truth. You were getting stepped on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said you should read some of my communications. I don't be playing with these people. You're a liar, a fake, a phony, and a fraud, and you know it, and you're trying to evict people, and you've put countless people out of their homes. People have committed suicide because of this stuff. I do not play with these people.
Yeah, and they don't care either.
Oh, yeah, they care about what I say because what I say...
No, I mean, they don't care about putting people out on the street, whole
right.
families.
They've done it. Yeah, they've done it for so long that they've forgotten that, people have committed suicide about losing their properties and stuff. Their consciences are seared where they just don't care. So when I write them a letter, I let them know, hey, the 30 years in prison, $1 million fine, I make sure that's in every letter for bank embezzlement. You stole a promissory note, and it's $1 million fine and or 30 years in prison. That's just the start. That's just one of the things that I charge them with.
Wow. Do they don't respond to that, do they?
No, they don't.
Yeah.
And ask me, do I care?
No.
It's $27 million worth of constitutional violations. You think I care about $1 million when I could take them to court and get $27 million plus 3 times that for fraud? See, they don't think. It would be easier to give me the $1 million instead of, $81 million. What do you think?
Yeah, well, they don't think they're going to give you any either.
Right, but that's because they don't know. I know how to put the law into the case, which most people don't.
Right. They know most people are ignorant and will walk away thinking they owe.
But how could you owe if you and I make an agreement, Angela, I'm going to loan you $100,000. And you say, good, and I'm going to pay you back in 30 years. I said, fine, that's acceptable. That's an offer and acceptance. And I said, in exchange for this loan, you're going to pay me every month X amount of dollars. But I never give you the loan. And I expect you to make payments every month. What's wrong with that picture?
That's non-performance on your part.
Very good, and that makes a void contract.
Right. They didn't do their part. We did our part faithfully every month.
Right. But if they never gave you a loan, then how could you be in default? What are you in default of? We are so brainwashed and so orientated and conditioned. It's really, really sad.
Did you read Jon Stewart's new part about sequestering the evidence? Don't even say anything about the note, although the evidence of the debt is the loan is evidenced by the note, which is the debt. Oh, good grief! Why do people do that? I don't get it.
They have issues, but it's not. It never was about the note. It's true they stole your note from you, but the whole thing is they never gave you the loan. And
I know, but the point is, though, they have to sequester the evidence because it's evidence of the debt. And if the bank doesn't bring forward the note, which they ain't going to do, then it's in your favor. And if they do bring the note, it'll show that it's been already been sold, paid to the order of. So the judge makes a judgment, and you get it. You win either way as far as John Stewart's process
But
goes.
it's not about the note. What you should have an affidavit in stating that you were never given the loan. So the contract was never consummated. And if the contract was never consummated, they have no standing to bring you to court.
That's right.
So my way is a little easier because it's not about it's about knowing what does the law say.
Right.
The law specifically says if you separate the deed from the note, you do not have the power to foreclose.
That's right.
Well, what evidence do you have that they were ever separated?
That they were the deed of trust was recorded on the public in the recorder's office, and the note wasn't.
That's right. So that's your evidence. They never had the power to foreclose in the first place. Plus, it's a void contract.
Right.
And
we have a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
People think because this is so simple, that it can't be that simple. Yes, it is. But as long as people misdirect you and have you looking in the wrong direction, you want to give that your all. But it's a lot simpler than that. Mm-hmm. It's so simple. Anybody ought to be able to go in and win a foreclosure.
Well, really but there are corrupt judges, too. We have to make allowance. Well, you go after them, I know.
No, you put them on judicial notice.
Right.
Who is the judge's fiduciary? Yours. He can't rule against you. That's treason.
Yeah.
Treason is automatic termination, and he forfeits his pension and retirement. You think you want to give that up to rule in favor of a bank?
No.
Well, once you put him in remembrance of that, because we have selective amnesia, and you let him know, hey, remember you took an oath. I'm going to hold you to that oath. Breach of your fiduciary duty to me is treason, and I will see that you are impeached. You can count on it.
Okay, I'm sorry, were you finished, or do you want a question? Or?
Yeah, sure. Question.
Okay, California, go ahead.
Well, that's me, right?
Yep, that's you.
Oh, good. I just wanted to ask Truth, could she elaborate also on, like what she just said, now how do you go about that? Next step, you said it, how do you put the judge on judicial notice and make that stick? And also the process about what lien would you say is the best to put and get it, how recorded or whatever, if you have to or should not, and how do you monetize that in the bank?
Okay, like I stated earlier, that information is in the commercial process, which Angela's going to put on, she's going to post on Private Audio Home, right. I'm sure.
MyPrivateAudio.com.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Okay.
Now, where there will you put it?
It's just look for commercial process.
No, but Angela, where will you put it? Like under visiting guests?
Where there's a link that says guest speakers. Click on that and then scroll down to where it says truth, and then there'll be a link to it right under her name.
Okay, great. Okay. All right. That's the lien and all that, monetizing it in the bank and everything. And then about the judge, what would you do to put him on notice? Would you do it in writing or action after?
Notice is a form, and my judicial notices always say amicus curiae up under it because I'm coming as a friend of the court. I'm not coming to be threatening. I'm just putting you in remembrance or notice that you have a fiduciary duty. The Constitution of the State of California and the Constitution for the United States of America are political trust contracts. The government is your trustee. The judiciary is a branch of the government, which makes the judge your fiduciary. And once you articulate that, I'm coming as a friend of the court to let you know you are my fiduciary. It is not optional. It is mandatory that you rule in my favor pursuant to 16 Amjur 2D or constitutional law. Failure to do so is insurrection and rebellion against the people. You automatically terminate your employment and you forfeit your retirement and pension.
Have you ever said that to a judge, Truth?
In writing, yes, I have.
Have you ever said it in person?
I don't have to.
Oh, gosh, I would love to do that just to see what the response is, or watch somebody else do it.
Write it down. You can. You don't have to do a judicial notice ex parte like I do. I do it in the private. I'm always trying to give them a way out and to save face. I'm not trying to embarrass anyone.
Well, that's a better way to do it.
So how do you do that in private? Do you put it like in a separate envelope when you send it in camera to the judge? Because you get stuff like that and the clerks will stick them. Pardon me?
EXPARTE, ex parte. You send it in ex parte. You know how you would file a complaint? You know the headings that you would put on it? It would
right, like parte hearing and stuff like that, yeah.
Right. It would say judicial notice, however. That's the difference. It wouldn't be a complaint or a motion. It would be judicial notice. And you would put on there to the judge, to this honorable court, and all the opposing attorneys, you're putting them on notice. Because attorneys took an oath to support the Constitution as well. And for them to breach their fiduciary duty is treason as well.
That's right.
And treason in this country is still punishable by death or life imprisonment.
Firing squad, right?
No, you get to hang them, dear.
Oh.
You hang them at the
But they never do it.
No, because why? You're not enforcing it. It takes 25 people, which is called a general populace, to go into court and demand their rights.
So that's like an assembly, you'd say also true? A general populace?
That's where the assembly got it from. That's correct. I shared that information some time ago with someone, and that's what they came up with. It's called.
That's really interesting. If Bob Schultz, when he went in for his redress of grievances, and if he would have gone in with 24 other claimants or declarers or however, what did they claim it or whatever, do you think it would have turned out better for him?
Of course. I have a specific affidavit. 25 represents a common law grand jury.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And I have a petition of a common law grand jury with 25 signatures and my notice and demands. You can use it as an affidavit of intervention. But, at the end it says, so say we one, so say we all, and the court cannot go against the people because we pay your salary. And if you rule against us, then that's insurrection and rebellion, which is treason. You have to go to court with people. You have to learn these things. You got to learn how to stick together. Don't you know if 3 people, for instance, that have Bank of America as their lender, if you file a claim against their insurer, FDIC, don't you know Bank of America loses that insurance policy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they take that out of our account. Yeah.
Right. You have to band together and find people that have the same lender that you have and all do the same thing at the same time. You have more power than you know. And there is strength in unity.
Yeah. And that's why they don't allow you to have witnesses, or why they want you now in the courtrooms by yourself. They'll throw everybody out.
Law. It's called a closed courtroom, and that's also against the law.
So how would you respond back to that? You'd say, I'm not going to participate with this, or?
That's right. I
do not agree. I do not consent. I do not understand. And all those things.
And if you watch Carl Miller, he has a nice little explanation. He said, I'm not going to participate in any taunting scheme.
What do you call it?
Taunting.
Taunting scheme?
Mm-hmm. He has a nice little saying that he does. I had said I was going to memorize it because I liked the way he said that.
Is it a Ponzi scheme? Is that what you said, like Ponzi?
No, taunting.
Oh, Ponzi.
Yeah, it's a taunting scheme and a Ponzi scheme.
Same thing.
Well, also, the courts are supposed to be public hearings, and when they take away your right to a public hearing, that's another reason you don't have to participate, because unless it's a child custody case or a juvenile case, it's open to the public.
Yeah.
Right. But then it's your courtroom. Your tax dollars, it's not their courtroom. It's the people's court.
Well, that's what they tell you. This is my court, and we're not going to do anything like whatever in my court. You know how they'll act.
Then you got to go, no, Your Honor. Excuse me, Judge. This is my court. Don't be afraid to speak your piece.
Right.
Well, that's me.
Are you on the clock? Then you're working for me. This is not your court. You're my employee.
And then when he says you're going to be in contempt, you say what?
I do not agree.
In contempt of what? I'm not no government employee. You can only hold government employees in contempt.
Yeah. Or what does Dave say? Civil or criminal? Could you explain that?
Well, you understand. Civil is equity, and criminal means there has to be an injured party.
Mm-hmm.
Who did I hurt? What property did I damage?
And they say that criminal is also civil, so that everything is civil.
All crimes are commercial because of the bond.
Right. Our bond.
But you don't want to go in there saying that.
No, you don't want to let them know too much that you know too much. But you should have a weekly meeting. You should have a discussion about these things, come up with different scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
So you would know what you want to say, what you need to say, because you need to know this. And improvisation is the one time you really need to be good at it.
Yeah.
Yes, light on your feet. Silver-tongued devil.
Say if I was a judge and you came into my courtroom and I tell you to sit down, and you sit down, then you just giving me jurisdiction over you. So you should have a response in case you don't feel like you want to sit down. When the judge tells you to stand up and you don't want to stand up, you should have a response because you don't feel like you want to stand up.
How about tell the judge to roll over? I just wanted to see if it'd go the other way.
Yeah.
As Bill Thornton says, because it's not my wish.
Right.
That's correct. But then he's made the court a common law court. He's taken over the court.
Right. This is a court of record. He speaks it on the record. I've learned so much from all these different people. I cannot tell you. But you know what? It rounds out my education. You can't just be learn from one process. You have to learn from everybody's process and then make it your own, formulate what you feel comfortable with, but, research it, do your due diligence, as they say, make sure it all, jives with your belief system. Then you can go in there and kick ass,
right.
I think.
But everybody should know how to go in and take over the courtroom. So you should go to 1215.org to learn how to do that, because it's in the California Constitution. Every court in California is supposed to be a court of record. Every court in California is not a court of record. So that makes it a what? An unconstitutional court.
Right.
Yeah, just an administrative. You have to go in there and speak it on the record, and then you turn it into that constitutional court. You can go looking at all the different courthouses on the planet. It doesn't matter. You make it a constitutional court by what you speak onto the record. That's what Bill Lear did with Rose. That John Stewart talks about that, and I remember when it happened. He went in there and said, I know there's a constitutional court or something to that effect, and she filed in that document that was recorded on the public record, and he won.
Right.
And that's people do too. Yeah.
And that's what Bill Thornton says to do.
Mm-hmm. You have to take responsibility for yourself and know who you are. And not be a little mamby-pamby slave, under the authority of some stranger and 12 other strangers. You leave your fate in the hands of 12 complete strangers. I don't get that.
Well, it's supposed to be a jury of your peers.
Right, exactly.
But you have to make it so.
Right. When you voir dire the jury, you make it. Because if I was doing a foreclosure, I want somebody that has foreclosure experience on the jury. I want somebody that has a mortgage on the jury.
Yeah.
You want it to be a jury of your peers.
Right.
And that's what it means, somebody that has the same experience. If it was, say, I was taking an auto mechanic to court, I want somebody that had a bad experience with a mechanic shop on my jury.
Right.
All right, so they can relate. So they are your peer in real life. They're your peer because they could relate. You've experienced the same thing they have. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be, but people have to assert themselves. They have to do this for themselves and not wait for someone else to come along and do it for them or, take authority over them and make decisions for them. That's why I also like David Clarence's executor letter because of that. You're occupying the office of the executor or executrix. That's kind of cool. Have you looked at that at all, Truth?
No, but you had mentioned it to me, and, my thing is I'm the beneficiary.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I can't be the executor or the executrix. I'm the beneficiary. I'm of the posterity of the people, we the people. I'm a people, we the people. So that's my posture.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But David says you can't use that if you're not born here, though, right, Angela?
Well, no. It's as long as there's a Social Security number or a Social Insurance number, where they have a birth certificate. Otherwise, there's no estate if there's no birth certificate.
If you're a citizen of this country and you took an oath to the Constitution, you get to become a beneficiary as well.
Maybe so, but you don't have an estate.
Yeah, the estate with a birth certificate here is what, or the other, what was Australia, Britain, or Canada. But
right.
So people that are here that are not born here are not, as he says now, allowed to use the executrix office of the executive, the letter.
Mm-hmm. Executor or executrix. But anyway, we'll leave that for a call he's on. I got to get him back on one of these days when he calms down. I think he's on here, actually. I think I see him.
He's getting the cat food ready for tomorrow night.
Oh, is that what he's doing? Okay. He's lurking in the background listening.
Yeah. That's good.
But anyway, we have another question, if that's it for you. Texas. Go ahead, Texas.
Hey, it's me again. My question was just answered by the last gentleman. My question was answered. So, but I do have a comment. Winston Strout is having a conference this weekend. I was wondering, does anybody know anything about it? I think it's about commercial something.
No, it's about mortgages, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought about going to it, but I changed my mind.
I think he's got a special guest, right, Truth?
Yes, he does, Roger Elvick.
So anyone that wants to meet Roger Elvick, he's a legend. Living legend.
Right. He started teaching the OIDs 20 years ago, and they arrested him for teaching them and telling you that you could get that money back.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about OIDs? Oh, shoot.
That's correct.
Well, that's Elvis. Yeah, I think Winston sent out an email.
But that's who he is. He's the grandfather. He's the patriarch of the OIDs.
Granddaddy of them all.
Oh, no. Well, I need to catch a plane tonight then because I did the OID process and I got the money for my money for 2009, but I got a letter for 2006-07, and they saying that if I don't rescind within 30 days, then I have a $5,000 charge penalty. So I need to figure out how to combat that.
You got to learn the law. Is what they're telling you is it lawful? Can they do that pursuant to the law?
He's the guy to talk to about that. I'll talk to you too, but oh wow.
Well, I think if you go and look up Dan Goff on YouTube, I believe he addresses that issue.
Is it G-A-R-T?
It's G-O-U.
It's on my website. It's on my website. I posted it to YouTube. Go to myprivateaudio.com. Go to where it says guest speakers, and then down where it says Dan Goff and Richard Fry. Richard Fry. Click on where it says call notes or web page or whatever it is there, and there's the clip right there is on the page for them.
See, the information is out there for you to learn, and it's up to you to learn it. It's not up to me to tell you what I know because I can handle myself. You have to be able to handle yourself.
Right.
And I'm not trying to be nasty. I want you to get it for yourself. That's all I'm trying to emphasize.
And
right.
that's the truth.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I mean, that's what I want to know. I want to learn it for myself because, when I got the money for 2009, I was excited, but then 2008-76 was taking on such a long time. I was getting worried, and I was kind of doubting myself if I knew how to defend it, if I had to. Well, now I have to. So. Right.
Well, definitely pay attention to that YouTube. Take notes. Look up what he's telling you to verify it. Listen to the first talk show that I did, was that 3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just go to the call notes page or look on my talk show page and it'll say truth. I forget which episode it was, but it was about 3 weeks ago. I could tell you exactly when it was actually.
You need to know.
It was on October 14th.
Yep, you need to know how to handle yourself in a tax issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can win against the IRS.
Okay. So I might have to have an admin process with them also. Well, I'll see. I'll research.
Thank you.
And what I'll do is later on, I'll put up the Dan Mancuso step-by-step administrative process and if I can, the Dan Benham information also. And also, Dan Goss gave me his CDs and said I could put them up there for donations and keep the money. So I'll do that too.
Yeah, that's nice.
I know. I couldn't believe it. That was so nice of them. Couldn't believe it, but yeah. Sent it to me on CD and said I was so pleased. Thank you very much. So I'll get all those up there.
I'm sure you meant to say DVDs, correct? Not CDs?
Yeah, DVDs.
Okay, because the audios are good, the videos are better.
Yeah. I always forget there's a difference. They're discs. Somehow, but you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I know. I'm bad. Oh yeah, I have a whole lot of work to do tonight now. Are you going to go to the Winston seminar tomorrow, Truth?
the meet and greet, there's a possibility. Yeah. I definitely want to see Roger. I don't want to attend the seminar, but I definitely do want to see Roger for personal reasons.
Is he going to be there all 3 days or just one day, or do you know?
I do not know. That's the point. See, I'm going to be in San Diego Saturday.
Okay.
You know, so I know I'm not going to be available Saturday, but I definitely would like to meet him because he and another person he was staying with at the time used to call me and tag team me on the phone, just spitting out information, and I'd be fumbling looking for my recorder, and they would just spitting out information so fast, telling me about the 706, the 709, the generation skipping taxes, and those guys had me going.
I was reading that same stuff last night on the Fidelity website. They have a whole section for, I was doing a search on the word executor and deceased, and it came up with this Fidelity page, and it's got a whole list of items, you know, like planning for the estate and executing the estate and stuff. Just looking at the different terminology, how they use it, what it says, you know. And I thought it was interesting that it was on the Fidelity site, and they tell you, you know, how to transfer an account into your account if there's a decedent. Some interesting stuff there.
Well, is a decedent.
Right.
Yep. And all state is owned by the all property is owned by the state, and the judge is the trustee of that estate. So he's the fiduciary for the state as far as the decedent's estate, which is the straw man.
Right. But there's one thing. It's about, well, as far as the executor and that stuff, you're holding the office of executor, so you're. But it's not the same as the one as if you were an executor for a dead person. You're occupying the office of the executor for your estate that came about by your birth certificate, and on and on and on. Pretty interesting stuff.
The one that came about by your birth certificate, 45 days after you were born, they created a death certificate, and it was abandoned property, which is how the decedent came to be in existence.
Uh-huh.
And it's a very interesting story, which
but instead of allowing them to be the executor of that estate, you take it back in a way. I don't know. You'd have to listen to David.
Right. That's the whole point. When you apply for a loan and you approve, the next thing the bank does is give you the loan check. Well, when you buy a car and a mortgage and a house specifically, they allow you to walk out and abandon those funds. And 45 days afterwards, they get to claim it as abandoned funds. Because they never presented you with the actual check, which they should have given you, which that's what you applied for. You applied for a loan that you never received. Instead, they use a diversionary tactics. They dangle keys, oh, here's your new car, or here's your house. They dangle keys in front of you. You apply for a loan. That's what makes you get up and walk out and leave that loan check.
Yep.
You abandon it. You never got a receipt for that note. That note is a negotiable instrument. You didn't even get a receipt for it.
But as soon as they endorse it, though, they've cashed the check. It's done. As soon as they put that pay to the order on there, it's just like going to the bank with your payroll check and signing the back. You cash it. It's no longer a note.
But look how
so you're done.
You prove that that's what they did.
I'm sorry, what?
Look how difficult it is for you to prove that that is what they did.
Well, it's not really.
Show you.
Yeah. Everybody pretty much nowadays knows that's what they did.
Right, but knowing what
Okay,
someone
but that's what John Stewart says. If they can't produce the evidence of the debt, if they don't bring the note in so that the judge can sequester the evidence, you don't even mention the word note, he says. You just have them sequester the evidence because the deed of trust says that the note is the evidence of the debt. So if they don't have the evidence, then they can't do anything.
But they can produce the note at any time. That's why they have forgers out here. If they did produce the note, it wouldn't be the one that you signed, trust me.
Well, yeah, you have to refute it.
Because the one that you signed, they mutilated it. They got rid of the evidence. They don't keep those notes.
Yeah, I heard someone say they sliced it and diced it and sold it off 27 times. I thought that was cute.
Exactly. So the original note, they can't have the evidence of their fraud. If they had the original note, that's evidence against them. That evidence, that's a two-edged sword. It cuts both ways. It's evidence for them and evidence against them as well. So they can't have that. That's why it's destroyed.
Yeah. It's all a big fraud, and I hope a lot of people wake up to it and stop just caving in and walking away.
Right. Well, it's been nationally exposed now. Now that Bank of America and Chase have come out nationally and exposed the, how did they put it? There's some mistakes with their paperwork.
Yeah. Robo-signatures.
Now is the time to be suing them for quiet title.
Yep, that's what everybody should be doing. I guess that'll be our next step.
Well, there's two questions I'd like to ask you. One of them is, Angela, are you saying if you went in right now and you got a loan, even with the new way they're writing up the paperwork to get you to sign a new note later on and all that stuff, if you flip that thing over and you sign the back of it to cover your note or to cash it in or whatever, are you saying that then even signing the note today, it's the same thing, even with the way they're rewriting it now?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, you just a while ago, when you go in there and you sign the note, then if you flip it over, it would be like you cashing it in and you're done. You don't owe them anything anymore, and you know you don't.
Well, they're usually the one that endorses it and sells it off, securitizes it, and so forth. You don't get to cash it in.
But then if you flip it over and you're the one that endorses it.
Well, it's not like a note. It's a whole document of pages. It's not like, they put the endorsement right there below your signature when you sign it. I don't know, Truth. What do you say?
Well, what I was going to share with him, when you sign the note, there's always about 4 other lines on there for you to sign, and they always want you to sign on the top line, and anyone can sign up under your name. But in business, you should be signing on the bottom line. You shouldn't be signing on the top line so anyone else can sign up under your name. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but then anyone can sign above your name, right?
No. It's always the bottom signature is the one that counts. The last signature on the page.
Yeah, I know. Sign on the bottom line. I know. I've heard that before. However, if you sign on the bottom line and then all of a sudden there are signatures above your name, that's almost like you saying you approve those top signatures.
No, it's the owner of the note is the last signature. But this is what I do personally. When I sign my name on the top line, I draw a line through those other lines.
Yeah, that's smart.
I draw a 45-degree angle through those other lines to let them know that there were no signatures present.
Yeah. And you know what John says to do is to, when you sign your name, is to let the pen poke a hole in it.
Right, so you can always tell the original document.
Right.
because the original document is going to have an impression from the pen where you bore down on the paper to write. Because these people, they make IDs for witness protection and stuff. They can forge a signature. They're experts at it.
All right. Well, John speaks of cases where, they brought four original notes in on one guy's case from 4 different law firms. How does that happen? They've got these laser color copiers, and they make beautiful copies.
That's why counterfeiters and forgers are not going out of business anytime soon.
Yeah, really. Anybody else have a question? Press *8 or just
Well, I got one more there before you go to somebody else. Can y'all explain the quiet title?
A quiet title is where you make them come in. It's to remove any encumbrances from the deed. And there's a specific way that I like to do it. Other people, you go in to court, you file a quiet title action, you make them prove that there was a loan, you make them prove that it was their money, you make them prove certain things and that they can't prove, and the judge rules in your favor and have them, the encumbrances or the clouds, removed from the title and give you free and clear title of the property for the fraud. Does that help?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Any more questions? Well, now is the time to take advantage of this before the president comes up with the bank forgiveness and asks we the people, to forgive the banks for their naughtiness. And then you won't be able to sue. So you need to strike first. Do a preemptive strike.
Okay, anything else? So we have a couple more questions. Okay. Go ahead, Daniel Ray. Did you have a question for Truth? Daniel Ray, go ahead and speak up. Daniel Ray.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
You said earlier posted some commercial process. I'm not sure I heard. Did you say you have Don Mancuso's?
Yes.
Okay. That's a process we put out about 5 years ago at the Las Vegas Common Law Court.
Yes, and it still works good today.
Well, that's interesting. I thought by now we'd probably run over it. Fascinating. Yeah, I recorded all those.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we're the author of that.
I understood that, but I didn't know you were the actual recorder.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, Truth, this is Dan, the Seal Man. Haven't heard from you in a while.
I'm still around.
Not since Tony, I guess, really. But I'm still helping people with their seals, so if you got any people that need them, then I'll be happy to help them with it. I'm just a volunteer coordinator, so I don't make seals. I help everybody that comes with their seals.
Well, I will be going in my email and contacting you because I have to have a couple made still.
No problem. I'll be glad to help you. If you want to pass around, I'll give you a sample sheet that you can put out if you like.
Be more than happy to.
Terrific. Well, I'll have to go dig out that commercial process disc we put out 5 or 6 years ago and review it. Maybe it's better than I thought it was.
Yeah, do that.
Fascinating. Yeah, we did. Oh man, I think we've done hundreds, thousands of commercial process during that period of time. I spent fortunes on notary publics and on green cards, and it was quite an operation. We found we had to train notaries. We had a process where we take a new notary, we talk to them about what we were doing, and we had a check sheet. So if they're doing the notarial process, we'd say, all right, on this date, you send this one. If nothing comes back, you send the next one, and so on. If it does come back, call us immediately. Very rare that anything ever come back.
Oh, cool.
So I guess that process is still going. Okay.
Yep, it's like the Energizer Bunny. It's going.
Yeah.
So you say you're the author of it?
No, he's the reporter.
Don and Mancuso and I were partners in that.
Oh, okay.
I'm behind the scenes, and he likes to stand up front. So I said, okay, you stand up front. We'll put your picture on it and your name on it, and I'll just do all the technical.
Very cool.
Yeah, I just thought a blast in the past. I said, wait a minute, did I hear right? Fascinating. Truly fascinating.
I'm of the opinion if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh, that's right. Because we did a lot of research on that, and we put in affidavits and things where other people don't. On the UCC ones we filed, we didn't just file a raw thing. We actually put in exhibits and everything else, so they couldn't come back on us in a frivolous filing. Also, we did a double notary, and we did a document that held the notaries harmless. So if they were taking these in, we gave an extra layer there of protection. We have to protect your notaries.
Yeah, because two notaries, one is the notary acceptor. One notary is witnessing what the first notary is doing. So it's a notary acceptor. Right. And a lot of people aren't familiar with that.
It's exactly what I did with my mortgage in Vegas. And they put it off to now. It's put off till the sale has been put off again till November 30th. For those who want to know. Was there anything else, Daniel Ray? Because we've got 4 other questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's I picked up on my call the other night with Chris Summers, but he was to go back to Corpus Juris Secundum and go and look on what's the thing we file on property? The Homestead Act. He says if you go back and read the original one, not just the forms they hand you, but you can add a few things to it and make it very powerful.
Well, after the call, I need you to Skype me. I got some information that you could do before the 30th.
Okay. Anyway, Truth, if you want, I'll be glad to help you with your seals. If you want to call me, I'll give you the number if you like, or anybody else. Do you have it?
Well, you can give it, but I have it, and it's always a pleasure. Thank you for making yourself known.
And it's the same number. It's 408-741-5500. And I'll help any group or anybody who wants their family seals. We've done hundreds and hundreds of them, and very successfully.
Thank you so much for that information.
That's all I've got, Angela, for now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on the call.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mute out.
All righty. Okay, we've got Pave Bart. Go ahead, Pave Bart. What did you have a question for Truth?
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, the lady that was on earlier, she was right as rain. Like probably 5 minutes ago.
Talking about what?
About
that was
the whole. Geez, I hate it when you get brain lock. But I'm a little older. It happens.
It happens to me all the time. That was Truth talking.
Oh man, and I'm like, okay, I'm just ticking it off and going, that's a hit, that's a hit, that's a hit, and she was just rolling it down the paper, And I'm like, holy Jesus. At least there's somebody else out there.
She's
that
dynamite.
amazes me because I thought I was like the Lone Ranger. And then I find, I hear this lady from some other place going, okay, and she's just hammering. And then I sit back and I go, well, if I'm not the Lone Ranger and she's doing it up wherever she's at, there's probably several other people with the same mindset.
Yeah.
And I bet she knows people. I know people. Angela, you know people.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the trick. Once they start learning this stuff and you pass it out, it's like a virus.
Gosh, I hope so. That's the whole point of doing these talk shows.
It will go viral. And once it does, it scares the poop logs out of the bad guys? Exactly what I'm talking about. Because they're going,
oh, I know.
We've got this template and we're following it. And you know what we're doing? We're pushing the timetable up. And they're like driving a big, battleship. You can change the course of a battleship with an oar. You're going to be a paddling motor scooter to make it change course. Because it takes a long time. That's what they're working in. They've got this big lethargic bureaucracy. And we are like speedboats. We can change course in a New York second.
Mm. Wow.
And that scares the poop logs out of them because some of our speedboats have torpedoes on them. They're called Truth. And when we start shooting them, they're going, we can't turn fast enough. Paddle harder. It ain't going to help.
Well, I hope so. From
your
mouth to God's ears.
Hey, we are so close to cutting them out of the pattern. I've seen stories where the bad guys are looking for countries they can go to hide.
Good.
And I've already said, there is no place on this planet you can hide, motor scooter.
Okay.
I won't find you, but I know people that will.
Well, I think because of the internet, we can Google it and find out wherever they are in all these locations. I mean, immediately, right? So,
Angela, I get down on my knees and praise Al Gore. You know why?
He didn't start the internet.
Well, no, but he said he did.
Well, he's a liar.
Well, wow. Imagine that. But I'm like, wow, Al, let me get this right. You actually gave us a rope to which to hang you with. How much better can it get?
I know, and people keep fretting over it, saying, "Oh, they're going to shut it down. They can't shut it down. They rely on it more than we do."
Hang on. No, they can't.
Banking, the stock market. I mean, everything.
They
cannot shut it down.
Angela, put it on the high side. I used to work on the high side, but I know this. There's people that's got like garages full of servers.
Right.
Just for fun. No, wait a minute. Just for fun.
I know. Hackers.
And they go.
There's a lot of hackers out there.
And I bet 10 minutes later, it'll be right back up.
Oh, yeah. They can't win unless they take down those big trunk lines under the ocean. And they can't do that because they rely on it.
Yeah, and let's say EMP us.
Just all a bunch of scare tactics.
I just wanted to call in and say that lady was talking earlier. She was right as rain.
That's the truth.
Been there, done that, bought the T-shirt, pooped in the coffee cup.
Okay, good.
All right,
we're going to move on. Okay, talk to you later. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And we're going to, okay. Go ahead, non-member. Did you want to ask Truth a question? Go ahead, non-member. I hear you. Did you want to ask Truth a question?
Angela?
Yes.
I don't know if you're calling on me or not, but I'm My phone became unmuted.
Yeah, you had your hand up. Did you want to ask a question?
Yes, I did. I do.
Okay. All righty.
True. I know a fraud never, there's no statute of limitations on a fraud, but if a foreclosure was done, it's been a long time ago, if a foreclosure was done, fraud was committed, but money had to be borrowed to pay it off to stop the foreclosure. Is there anything that can be done about that?
Of course. You sue.
Well, what I meant to say, too, is the bank is out of business now.
It's not about the bank. It's about the title company. The title company ensured that was a good title.
Oh, okay. So still have all the documents and everything, and the title company should be listed in those, would it not?
It should be in the upper left-hand corner.
Okay. And this same situation, similar situation rather, the credit card. They were going to take a piece of property because of the credit card. When I learned what was going on, or was in the beginning stages of learning, and I had to borrow money to pay that card off. I thought, I know better now, but at the time. So, anything about that?
What does the law say? The law says banks can't loan credit, they can't loan the depositors money, and they can't lend from their capital stock. So what did they lend you?
Nothing.
And what law is that?
I don't know.
The National Banking Act. You need confirming cases. This matter has been adjudicated a long time ago. So they have confirming court cases. National banks cannot loan credit.
Okay. Okay, that's what I want. Thanks so much.
Hey,
it's Dan Denham. Order Dan Denham, and all the court cases you could possibly need on the subject is on his DVDs. And shepherdize them. Make sure they're still good case law and haven't been overturned. It's a transcript that comes with this DVDs.
I'll be getting that up tonight. Thanks for putting the heat under me.
Yeah, it's the best $50 investment you'll ever make. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. All right, is that it, non-member? Did you have anything else? Is that it?
I do have something else, but I'll save it for another time.
No, go right ahead.
Yeah, please do, because at 8 o'clock I'm off this phone.
Okay, it's about a hospital bill where a crooked attorney took probably $500,000 worth of property for a $50,000 hospital bill. When arrangements, we tried to make arrangements to take care of it. Couldn't work with the office at the hospital, and it just got real involved. So the property was did not even belong to me. It was in a corporation sold. And property was in the corporation sold that he took that had never belonged to me. And I would like to know what I could do about that, because fortunately I didn't have to leave the home. My son and daughter-in-law paid it off.
Sue the attorney.
That's what I would like to do.
Okay,
He's
because
one who
number
really
one,
needs
when an attorney takes you to court, who are they working for?
themselves, really. He claims
Exactly.
to be an attorney.
There's no evidence of agency. And if there's no evidence of agency, there is no capacity to sue for a corporation.
That's right.
So he perpetrated fraud on the court right there. You got it?
Right.
Because a corporation cannot give an attorney power of attorney. A corporation cannot give an attorney verbal instructions. A corporation is a fictitious entity. So where is the retainer agreement and who hired him or her?
Mm-hmm. Well, his claim was the hospital hired him, but I talked with the attorney who actually is hired by the hospital, and he didn't know anything about him.
But that's the point.
The
hospital can't hire anybody because it's a fictitious entity. A corporation cannot take a flesh and blood to court. You let them do it. That's why they do it.
Well, I've learned a lot since then, too, but I had no correspondence from this attorney at all until I was served a summons.
Find out his insurer, go after his malpractice insurance, his errors and omissions bond, and have at it.
Okay, but when a corporation has their own legal department, what is that?
Who hired them? There has to be a contract.
Right. Well, I mean,
Make
if
them
they...
produce a contract, subpoena duces tecum.
Right.
I think what it is, he bought the bill, but I still haven't understood. He bought the debt, and I still don't understand how he got $500,000 or more worth of property for that.
It's called a lie. Fraud. The definition of fraud is a lie.
Yes, I know that.
And
they do it all the time.
Treble damages.
Okay, we're going to have to move on. Is there anything else, my dear man?
Not at this time, Angela. Thank you. Thanks, Trudy.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You can always come back and listen to the archive of the audio also. Okay, VAC, V-A-C-H.
Yes, I have a question. In California, attorneys are telling the judges that they can't even tender the payment. So what are they talking about? Quiet title or... So how do we approach to that? That we can't even tender the payment for the house, and we're suing them for quiet title, breach of contract, and so on.
Well, who's bringing the quiet title action? The attorneys or the homeowner?
The homeowner.
Right, because that's what we discussed earlier. Because they have a cloud on the title.
Yes, but what the attorneys are telling the judges that homeowners cannot even tender the payment, so they shouldn't even be suing us for quiet title.
But that's not a true statement, is it?
No, we know that. It's not.
It's not about what you know. It's about what you can prove in court. Where's your evidence? The judge can only look at evidence. If you don't put any evidence in court, he's going to speculate, hypothecate, and it's going to be chimerical, strictly imaginary. But if you put
I was in front of the judge, on the 26th, state judge. And judge looked at me and said, why are you suing them? I said, breach of contract, quiet title. He goes, didn't you borrow any money? And I said, no, I did not. So she repeated 3 times, and I repeated myself, no, I did not.
Where's your affidavit in support of that? You need an affidavit saying, I swear, under the pains and penalty of perjury, I received no loan.
Okay. I didn't do that. I'll do it.
Yes, the judge has to pay attention to an affidavit. He doesn't have to pay attention to what you say.
Okay. So don't even worry about tendering the payment.
You tendered the payment already.
When we signed that promissory note, you paid for it.
She did ask me, didn't you sign the promissory note? I said, yes, I did. And the promissory note said, for the loan that I have received, I promise to pay, which I never received any loan.
Good
Do
for
an
you.
affidavit to that effect. That would be your evidence.
You're
then
good.
She asked my husband if I was telling the truth, if he's received any money, and my husband said, Judge, can you define money? So that was it. We were out of there until December.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, December 3rd with discoveries and whatever. And I got their demur today, which I was reading, and it said that, they can't even tender the payment, Judge, so why are they here? I have to prepare for the opposition stuff.
Now that's a tort. That's another claim that they just gave you, a tort. That's slander, libel, and defamation.
Okay.
Add that to your complaint. You got evidence that they're slandering you, defaming you, and they put it in writing, which makes it libel.
Oh, okay. So I go after the attorneys?
Right, because they can't say that you can't even tender a payment. How do they know what you can and cannot do?
Oh, thanks, Ruth. Okay.
You're going to have fun.
For 2 years, I've been having fun.
There you go. So fun to get them, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can always tender the same payment you did to initiate the contract. Write them a promissory note, identical to the one that you signed. And if they don't accept it, why can't they accept it now if they accepted it then? What's wrong with that picture?
There you go.
There we go. All right. Okay.
And it's just to prove the point.
Right. Because if I got into debt with a promissory note, how come I can't get out of debt with a promissory note?
Right. And John Stewart says one thing that's really cute is if they bring a certified copy of the note, you take a picture of the house and say, here's a certified picture copy of the house. Will you take this? I'll take yours if you take mine. And it's, another way to put them on the spot. I like those things.
Mm.
Well, there's something a little sweeter that you can get them on.
I like sweet.
Because the house is not on the deed of trust. Why don't you secure the land and tell them to come get their house off your land?
Say that again.
The house is not on the deed of trust. The land is. Why don't you secure the land and tell them to come get their house off your land?
Okay. And how do you do that? With a patent or something? Or?
Yep, you would do a lodio title.
Okay. That's we'll have to leave that for another talk show. We're running out of time here. If you have to leave right at 8, that gives us like 10 more minutes or so. We've got 3 more questions back. Did you have anything else?
Just one more question for Truth. They put in proof of claim Chapter 13 case, bankruptcy. I called them up and I said, where is your proof of loss? And they pretended that they didn't know anything about it.
Bring it to court and hand it to them in front of the judge. You have a W-4? A W-10?
It's been more than 3 weeks. They haven't answered it.
Oh,
and
no.
They did a motion to lift stay from Chapter 13.
Did you put in a W-10?
No, I didn't.
Do you know what a W-10 is?
Yeah, I should have, huh? Oh.
Well, yes, of course. I keep telling you it's not about what you can say. It's about the evidence you can present. Why would you bring up a proof of loss if you don't have the documentation to substantiate it?
No, actually, I did do that W-10, that B-10 and W-9 or W-10. I don't remember the form number, but I did send it one to them, yes, proof of loss.
Okay.
They didn't fill it out, and it's still, I don't know.
Give them another one in front of the judge.
Okay.
Their failure to fill it out and sign it under the pains and penalty of perjury is fraud.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, we're next in line is South Central Florida. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering, anybody that's going to the Winston Shrout seminar, can they obtain proof or the evidence of the birth certificate being, and where he got that information, the location or whatever, of the birth certificate being worth $650,000 in $1923, and that 6% interest from the date of registration with either the Vital Statistics or DTC or whatever?
It's going to be at the LAX. What is it? The LAX Sheridan.
Yeah, but I can't go. Well, he mentioned that at a seminar, and that would be very valuable information for all of us, and educational as well. And the other thing was, I would think that the Dan, the seal man, would have, I'm going to call him after, but would develop a seal for this as executor, for the office of executor.
His name is Denny Ray, not Dan.
I'm sorry, pardon me, Billy Ray?
Denny.
Oh, Denny Ray. Okay. Thank you for the correction. I appreciate everything you all are doing. All bless, keep, and protect. And,
thank you.
I guess
Okay, we have one more question. Go ahead, Michael.
Am I here?
Yes.
All right. Hello to both of you.
Hello.
Greetings.
All right. Here's my question. I bought a home a couple years ago. Okay, it was a bank foreclosure. You know, I saved it for a real long time, and I bought the house cash. And it was from, Deutsche Bank, and I'm wondering, okay, with all this stuff going on, to what I hear and how I understand everything now, how do you protect yourself from the previous owner coming and trying to claim your home that you just spent 2 years fixing up and trying to, because I had a dilapidated home that was like destroyed.
It's not your responsibility. It's the title companies. That's why they have title insurance. Go after the title insurance if the owner comes back after you.
Okay.
They insured that title to be a good title.
All right. Also, one other thing. After I bought my house, about a year later, I got into a really bad car accident. And I got actually a car rolled over on top of me and crushed me. So now I was denied Social Security, and I actually have a Social Security hearing coming up. How would I handle a Social Security hearing? Would you have any idea what to do about that?
In Social Security, they're going to deny you 3 times before they pay. I don't know why. That's how it works.
I mean, I got enough girls that they're just amazed I'm alive.
Did you hear what I said? They're going to deny you 3 times, however, before they will pay you.
Okay.
But it
should
is
I?
retroactive from the first application.
I'm wondering if I should approach, or during the court hearing, should I introduce myself as executor or just be quiet?
It doesn't matter. They're going to deny you. They're going to deny you at times before they pay you.
Okay.
Oh, we're getting a lot of feedback here.
Yeah, there's a lot of echo.
Okay, now we should be all right. We have one. Oh, gosh. Go ahead, Daniel Ray. Daniel Ray, did you want to... Oops.
Oh,
okay,
I thought it was
try
Daniel
now.
Ray. I apologize.
Okay.
It says Daniel Ray on here.
Okay. In response to his anticipation, last week we have a brand new seal for the executor. I tried to follow David's guidelines from his previous seal design criteria, though he says it's not a requirement. It's kind of a cool seal. So anybody else who is interested in an executor seal, I don't think it could hurt.
Okay, great.
That's all I had.
Thank you so much. And how do people get in touch with you?
They can email me at trustcore, TRUSTCORE @gmail.com, or call at 408-741-5500, and I'll be glad to help anyone. That's it.
Okay, I'm typing it into the chat, so we'll have it there. That's trustcore@gmail.com?
Yeah, you got it right.
Or seals?
For seals.
Oh, got it. All right, so it's on the chat record anyway. All right, good. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, we got 2 more. We can do them real quick. I know Truth
Go
wants
ahead.
to leave. Trust Law, go ahead. Okay. Go ahead, Trust Law. Carlos,
right.
I think that's you.
Yes. Greetings, everybody. Truth.
Hi.
Hi, then. Okay. Quick question on a quiet title. When is it too early, or is it never too early to do a quiet title, and should you do it only under state law or in state law, not district, in state court, not district court?
That's your choice. You can do it in state court and still sue them in federal court under federal law.
Okay, I like that. And also, when is it too early, or because I get this question a lot, and it says when is it too early? What I mean by too early is that you don't have to be in trouble with the bank. And what I mean by trouble being in foreclosure or after foreclosure or pre-foreclosure.
You can do a quiet title action at any time that you have your evidence packets together.
Okay, I got it. So as long as you're ready, you can go ahead and do it. Okay.
That's correct. You have to have something to put into evidence for the judge to have jurisdiction over. Okay. Ask for a trial by jury, always, not a jury trial. There is a difference. The judge controls a jury trial. A trial by jury is constitutional.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Thank you, Truth.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Carlos. Okay, we have one more. Celtic Fire. Go ahead, Celtic Fire.
To the person who is doing the Social Security, you take your medical records, they examine the medical records, you will be denied probably 2 to 3 times before you get your hearing. From the hearing, you go up before an administrative law judge. You take your medical records to that hearing and let him go over those medical records. Then you will probably be approved. However, please keep in mind that the United States Congress has only authorized this year's budget until November 31st, so don't plan on getting Social Security disability.
Okay. Have you done this or what?
I'm presently on Social Security disability and don't expect to get a check in December.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Well, I guess people collecting Social Security should gear up for that. I don't know. Okay, is there anything else?
That's it.
All right, thank you so much. I guess. That's not good
And the
news.
person, from what it looks like on here, the person from California is using listening on speakers.
Okay.
That's why you're getting the feedback.
Oh. Oh, okay. Well, I think I took care of it before, or somebody was doing something. But the person from California, that's truth. So she's on her phone. But anyway, that's it. It's no one else has any more questions. It's 8:02. We've gone 2 minutes past our time. I want to thank you so much, Truth, for coming on. It's been fun as always. And I'll get all that information up there. You pretty much set me up. I'll put up the Dan Benham stuff and the two Dans, huh? Dan Mancuso and Dan Benham stuff. And I'll also get up the Dan Goff. Is it Don or Dan?
Don. But
Don, okay.
Don't forget to Skype me after the call, please.
Okay, I will. No problem. I think I got you on there already.
Yeah, I need to know how to get to you tomorrow.
Okay. All right, everyone. It's been fun. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Sunday with John Stewart. And I love you all.
Yeah, love you guys. Be well and kick butt.
Yeah, really. Thanks, Truth.
You're welcome.